I paid Lori to start clapping. No, honestly, I am thrilled to be here. I'm really excited that there's many of you sitting here in front of us. I hate virtual anymore. It is. I used to like virtual till I do meetings every day, all day, and so when I was able to go back in the office, I was really excited about it. About a month ago or so, we were here with the trustees. And this room was set a lot tighter than that, closer in here, rows are closer, every chair filled up. And that was amazing. I didn't hear from any COVID breakouts, so I was real happy about that. But I do want to express my sincerest thank you on behalf of the Board of Accounts for what you do each and every day. As I talked about, it's being at home and working the last 20 months, and looking back then at the 30 years that I've been on the department working with county auditors, county officials, city officials. It's always been very clear to me that as a group you have a passion to serve your community. You take your roles that as an elected auditor seriously. You make many sacrifices in any given year to serve your community. And for the most part, each of you try to do what you believe is right. Individually and as a group, you protected your county government and the office of the auditor. And through the years that I've been involved with the state, you've definitely made that office better. I asked them, early on, when last year, of course, was the virtual conference, and I think the year before that was fall, and I honestly don't know if I was here to talk at or not. August, I had a motorcycle wreck in August of 19 on August 1st, and it was pretty bad. I actually broke my neck in a couple places, and so I can't really turn real quick and look behind me because I can't get there. And I busted a bunch of ribs and collapsed the lung, and I wrecked doing 85 miles an hour with no helmet on, so it's not real smart to not wear a helmet, but I did live. So I look at things a little different than I did prior to that, and it does. One of the things that I realize is we only get so many heartbeats, and we only have so much of our own time to do things, and I know many of you have gave up much of that time to serve your community. And I still remember from the years I was auditing and working in courthouses of talking to more than a few people that have been in that courthouse working for 50 years. And I think the longest one I talked to was 55. But that's an amazing amount of time and dedication that people give to local government, and that it's something to be amazed at and to look at and be grateful for. But I also know that these last 20 months have been very difficult. And I know most of you, all of you, have earned a break and are ready for this to be over. I'm afraid it's not. Not only from the standpoint that the coronavirus itself hasn't left us, but the last pool of money that they gave to government, can now be expended through, or actually spent through 2024, and then actually payable through 2026. So there's still a long time left on the coronavirus monies that you guys are going to be dealing with in the auditor's office. And I can tell you that in the last year, I've probably seen more. I was actually talking about this morning when I first walked in. More frustrations within government, more frustrations within between one office and another office. You know, whether it be the auditors, the commissioners, the auditors, the council, the commissioners, the city council, the mayor. You know, everybody all the way up through. You know, the state through the federal government. It's just been, you know, it's been a lot of fighting. And of course, that honestly, at the end of the day, can't be good for your day-to-day activity, your day-to-day life, your day-to-day pressures that boil down on you in your offices. And I know Lori and Ricky deal with this constantly, and our other directors do as well. And I mean, I know a lot of times they're looking for answers from us, and this a lot of times there just really isn't an answer, and it is sad. And I think that's, you know, when we talk about, you know, prayer at the beginning and doing it is you know, looking back at our roots as a community and saying, are we driving toward that same goal? You know, within the office, and I hope, I pray, whichever one, that you know, the local communities can start that. You know, we've always talked about grassroots government in Indiana. It's very important. It's who we are, and I think that's where it's going to have to start is at our local levels, and hopefully that can filter back up all the way through, you know, through even into the national politics. But I think if they could just get off of the realm that there is politics in government, that it's about the betterment of the community once you're elected. And that's really what they just need to each understand, and forget about, you know, political ideology once it becomes you know, the function of a job. And that's very hard to do, but that's what we need. So that's my hope as we go forward. It doesn't get the answers that I know a lot of people are looking for, as far as, you know, can you stop these people from making me do this, or passing laws to do that, and they're illegal laws. And like I say, this is local, state, federal. It's not just in one place. So, and it's in the smallest of communities to the largest of counties. You know, counties in Indiana, smallest counties to the largest counties, that we're seeing these kind of infights. And I've actually talked about this to our audit committee as they are legislators within our state government, so they can have an understanding of what we are seeing in local government. And for the most part, it probably is something that stems down from upper to lower and lower. And they see that and they say it's all right. Theft, like when you have misappropriations in some communities, they tend to fall in that same category, that if you have an upper level government hierarchy that is very loose with the cash, very easy to spend money, very easy to maybe even take money, lower level people start seeing what's going on and they start taking it as well. And then lower than that start taking it and they doing it as well. So it kind of spreads out. And that's why I say it's a hierarchy that needs to you know, be corrected to bring everybody else into line. And it's a hard feat, but you know, we are seeing it. I mean, don't think that on a day-to-day basis. I mean, Ricky and Lori aren't. They definitely are. We definitely have conversations about it within our office, conversations about it with the legislative branch and the executive branch at the state level. Unfortunately, right now, nobody has real answers. But that being said, you know, we still all have, you know, our duties to do. All I can ask from you is that you continue to give your constituents the benefit of the wisdom that you've learned, the experience that you've gained, and continue working through this difficult period. That I do believe part of this is caused by the additional stress caused by coronavirus, the removal of us from our own family members, the removal of us from socialization with other people. So hopefully, as we start reintegrating with other people, having meetings like this where we can actually sit down and talk together, where we have live council meetings, live commissioner meetings, live legislative sessions, that we can actually start moving forward and actually move on. But with what I have left to say, I just want to end that with saying, once again, as I started, thank you for sticking through it. It has been difficult. It is appreciated. I know your citizens don't necessarily always just say thank you, thank you, thank you every time they walk in the door. They say, why can't you do this for me? But we appreciate it. I do know history will say that your constituents do appreciate it. So with that, I normally ask if anybody has any questions. I'd be glad to answer them. Yes. Pardon me? I don't ride right now. I do have a motorcycle, but I do not ride yet. My wife tells me I will wear a helmet. Actually, she really doesn't want me to ride. Yes.
I don't ask too many questions. They're going to start hating me around here. Does the SBOA, if it's concerned that its audits have turned up something that go beyond the scope of what it looks for, make referrals informally or formally or whatever? This is a very general question to federal and state authorities.
We, on a day-to-day basis, work with federal and state authorities.
Okay, thank you.
I know Mike and Tammy spoke yesterday, so normally we try to all speak on the same day so we know what each of us talk about. I'm going to assume you guys talked about Tammy, you guys talked about like working with other auditors during this period of time, like Crow, RSM. Okay, it is not something we definitely like, guys. Okay, but it would definitely will help us get through this period of time. Our goal is definitely to get back into our groove and be able to audit at the minimum all core government agencies like counties, cities, schools, townships, and any other entity that we consider to be core government. Last chance for questions. I will tell you, Mike told you about our kickball tournament, right? We won. I really told him it wasn't an option. But, what do you do if you lose? Cry. But, we're having a trophy made for that team because we like trophies. So, more importantly than that, the reason I was not here yesterday was we were at our exit conference for our audit, our peer review, which we get done every 3 years on us. They come in to look at our work, to look at the quality of our work, much like when we come in to look at you, look at the quality of your work. Are you doing your work product the way the statutes or the regulations say? And they came in and they spent 2 weeks. There's 7 people. Seven people plus one federal representative that come in and look at, they pull reports and they go through the work reports and through the work papers to see and look if our documentation is present, just like your documentation is present before you pay a claim. And happy to say we passed. Yeah, that is a very good thing. Without passing, we can't do audits. But, we get, like you guys get management letters a lot of times on stuff. We get management letter from them on things they have identified during the audit that we should correct, that is maybe systemic within our program, or maybe that specific auditor didn't look at enough. Happily, they didn't rise enough to what they call the level of a finding or a arc, where they then write a comment and then publish that comment. Because we don't like arcs, just like you don't like arcs, you don't like findings. And but we were very happy to get through that and pass that. But with that, thank you all very much. Once again, thank you for what you do. If you need assistance throughout this year or any of the future years as we roll through our monies, call Ricky and call Lori, and they will help you on a day-to-day basis. Thank you all very much.